Stop what you are doing and look closely at this large heavy dollar coin, because this is not just metal, this is a frozen moment of American identity. The dual date reads 1776 and 1976. 2 centuries pressed together by the United States Mint to celebrate independence, pride and survival. This coin was created at a time when America wanted to remind itself who it was and where it came from. The bicentennial was not subtle. It was loud, emotional and national. And this dollar was part of that voice. The D Mint mark confirms it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main engines of American coin production during the celebration. This was not a collector fantasy coin. It was made for the people. It was meant to circulate. It was meant to be held, spent and recognized. Yet from the very beginning this coin carried a contradiction. It was symbolic but impractical, historic but heavy, memorable but inconvenient. The Eisenhower dollar had always struggled in daily commerce, and the bicentennial version inherited that problem instantly. The size alone made it uncomfortable for pockets and wallets. People admired it but hesitated to use it. That hesitation shaped the destiny of this coin. Many examples were saved immediately, some were gifted, some were stored in drawers. Some were placed into collections by families who simply did not want to spend a coin that looked this important. This behavior reduced real circulation and preserved condition in a way few modern coins experienced. In circulated condition the story becomes clearer. You see light where rather than deep damage. Eisenhower's cheek shows soft friction, the jawline loses sharpness, the lettering remains strong, the Liberty Bell on the reverse shows gentle flattening rather than destruction. This tells us something critical. This coin was touched but not abused, used briefly but not accepted long term. The reverse design deserves special attention. The Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon was a bold statement that it connected the birth of the nation with its technological future, freedom and exploration in one image. No other circulating U.S. coin had ever attempted that level of symbolism. This was not accidental. It was deliberate messaging. The United States wanted to show that its past and future were linked. That message still resonates decades later. The composition of this coin must be stated clearly. It is copper nickel clad, not silver. Many myths exist around bicentennial dollars. Some people believe all are silver. That is false. Only specific collector versions contain silver. The normal D Mint mark circulation strike is clad. This distinction matters for value, honesty and education. In the 2025 market, circulated examples of the United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar typically trade between $1 and $3 depending on condition, eye appeal and surface quality. There is no hidden fortune here. There is no sudden explosion in price, but there is stability. And stability in numismatics is powerful. It means the coin has found its place. Collectors are not chasing it blindly, they are respecting it calmly. The emotional pull of this coin remains strong. Many people remember receiving it during the bicentennial celebration. It represents family gatherings, fireworks, parades and national pride. That nostalgia fuels long-term interest even when financial value stays modest. This is why the coin continues to be collected, discussed and preserved. It is not rare, but it is remembered, and memory is a form of value. The United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar in circulated condition stands at the intersection of celebration and reality. It was born to honor greatness but forced to live in a system that could not fully use it. That tension defines its story, and that story is far from over. As the years passed, the United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar slowly transitioned from a symbol of celebration into an object of reflection. Collectors began to look at it differently, not as a spendable coin, not as an investment miracle, but as a historical witness. This dollar had seen a nation pause and look back at itself. 200 years of independence compressed into a single strike, that alone gave it gravity. The Denver Mint produced these coins in massive numbers, yet survival patterns created a quiet filter. Coins that entered circulation briefly show honest light wear, coins that were mishandled show contact marks, and coins that were saved early often remain surprisingly clean. This spread of conditions allows collectors to study real-world behavior through metal. The large surface area of the Eisenhower dollar makes every mark visible. This teaches an important lesson. Condition is not just about wear. It is about handling, storage and intent. Many circulated examples show sharp detail but scattered bag marks. These marks came from storage in mint bags, not from pockets. This detail matters because it explains why some circulated coins still look strong. The public never embraced the size of the coin. That rejection was not emotional. It was practical. Wallets were not designed for it, vending machines rejected it, cash drawers resisted it. This resistance pushed the Eisenhower dollar into a strange category that it was legal tender but socially inconvenient. That friction shaped its limited use. The bicentennial design softened that resistance emotionally but not practically. People loved the look, they respected the meaning, but they still did not want to carry it. This behavior created a pattern of saving rather than spending. In numismatics, behavior is everything that it explains survival rates, that it explains condition rarity, and it explains why millions minted does not always mean millions circulated. The Liberty Bell and Moon design continues to be studied by designers and historians. That it is one of the few times a circulating US coin successfully combined historical symbolism with modern ambition. That balance was risky, yet it worked. The image remains instantly recognizable decades later. That recognition sustains collector interest beyond price guides. That in the 2025 market, collectors approach this coin with maturity. There is no speculation frenzy, there is no collapse, there is consistency. That consistency is the mark of a coin that has found equilibrium. New collectors acquire it easily, advanced collectors keep it for context. Educators use it to explain bicentennial history, clad composition, and the evolution of US dollar coin failures. The Eisenhower dollar was the last large dollar produced for circulation. That fact alone makes it a closing chapter, the end of an era. The 1776-1976 D issue sits at that ending point, carrying extra weight because it also marks a beginning of remembrance. That it reminds collectors that sometimes a coin is struck not to solve a problem but to express an idea. And ideas outlive convenience. The United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar remains a reminder that history does not need rarity to be powerful. It needs relevance, and relevance is exactly what this coin continues to hold up. By the time collectors reach the deeper understanding of the United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar, the coin reveals its final truth. This was never meant to be rare. That it was meant to be remembered, and memory gives it strength beyond numbers. What once circulated briefly now circulates in stories, classrooms, collections, and conversations. This dollar represents a moment when the nation paused and celebrated itself openly. That emotional weight cannot be graded but it can be felt. The large portrait of Eisenhower reflects stability, leadership, and post-war confidence. His presence on the coin ties 20th century strength to 18th century independence. This connection was intentional and powerful. The bicentennial celebration was not just a date. That it was a statement. And this coin carried that statement into the hands of ordinary citizens. Even those who rejected using it still recognized its meaning. That in circulated condition, the coin becomes even more honest. That it shows where it was touched, where it was stored, and how it was treated. Lightware tells us it moved briefly, heavier marks tell us it sat in bags with thousands of others. Each surface speaks differently. This makes every example slightly unique. Collectors who understand this stop looking for perfection and start looking for story. The market in 2025 reflects this shift. Prices remain stable because emotion rather than speculation drives interest. This coin is not chased. That it is respected. That it is chosen deliberately by collectors who value narrative over profit. This maturity is rare in modern numismatics, and it protects the coin from hype cycles. The bicentennial Eisenhower dollar also teaches a broader lesson. It shows that even massive mintages can carry long-term relevance when symbolism is strong. That it proves that coins do not need to disappear to matter, they need to connect. The Liberty Bell and Moon continue to symbolize freedom and ambition united. That image still resonates in a world that continues to balance history with progress. The United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar in circulated condition stands today as a bridge between celebration and reflection. It is no longer about spending or saving. That it is about remembering. That in the end, this coin reminds us that some pieces of metal become markers of time. They capture a feeling, a moment, and a national voice. And long after circulation ends, that voice still speaks. As the final layer of the United States 1776-1976 D Eisenhower dollar story settles into place, the coin becomes something more than an object. That it becomes a reference point. Collectors no longer ask whether it is rare, they ask what it represents. This shift in thinking marks maturity in numismatics. The coin has outgrown price alone and entered meaning. The bicentennial dollar reminds collectors that national identity can be struck into everyday money. Even when usage fails, the message survives. This coin lived at a crossroads where symbolism outweighed practicality. That imbalance shaped its destiny and preserved its legacy. The Denver Mint played its role with scale and consistency, striking millions to ensure the celebration reached every corner of the country. That mission succeeded. The coin reached hands, minds and memories even if it did not stay in pockets for long. From a preservation standpoint, the coin continues to age predictably. Clad composition resists corrosion better than silver but shows contact marks easily. Collectors learn to distinguish circulation wear from storage damage through this issue. That lesson alone gives the coin lasting educational value. It becomes a classroom without walls, teaching how coins move through systems and how public behavior shapes survival. The Bicentennial Eisenhower Dollar also marks the closing chapter of large U.S. dollar coinage. After this issue, the country moved away from size and toward convenience. That transition reshaped modern coin design. This coin stands as the last echo of an older philosophy: bigger, heavier and symbolic. Its existence explains why later dollar coins became smaller and more practical. Without this failure there would be no redesign. The market continues to reflect understanding rather than excitement. Collectors keep the coin because it completes a narrative, not because it promises profit. This calm relationship between coin and collector is rare and healthy. It ensures the coin remains available, studied and appreciated rather than hoarded. The United States 1776–1976 D Eisenhower Dollar in circulated condition ultimately proves that history does not fade when metal wears. It deepens. As surfaces soften, meaning sharpens. This coin no longer asks to be spent. It asks to be remembered, and that request has been answered for decades.